But okay, so let's get into the actual interview since it was teased for quarter two. So first up, you've spent a lot of time, of course, in the Turkish scene.
Yeah.
And so like what will be like your farewell message after leaving the Turkish scene? Any special thoughts towards the fans and that kind of stuff?
I mean, I had something prepared, but like, I want to make a video in Turkish to all the Turkish fans, all the Turkish players especially, because now that I made it, like from TCL to a major league, it means that if I can do it, then everyone else could possibly theoretically do it as well. So I think the time I joined TSM, it motivated a lot of young Turkish players, and I hope they will get there as well and be really good.
I
Like that is
mean,
my intention as well of joining a major league.
you officially are the very first Turkish import to a major region. I mean, you
Yeah.
like are German Turkish and stuff, but of course, that's a very huge step, a very huge first step. Does that like add any pressure, or does it just make you more proud to be kind of the first person from that region
Uh,
to make it?
I don't know how to feel really. It's like so much stuff is happening right now, and like people also had like rumors, and also it relieved a bit of pressure, I guess. But like I like having pressure on me. I think I play way better when I have pressure. And being on TSM means having a lot of pressure because you have like so much fan base, and I think if I use the fan base, if I use the pressure for my advantage, then I can be really good.
I was gonna say you should be the perfect fit for TSM then, because I know a lot of former TSM players
Yeah.
that were like, "Oh boy, that pressure really got to me," quite frankly. So you should be fine in that regard at least. Uh, so so in that regard, it's a positive thing for you as well. Are there like any other Turkish talents where you would already go, "Hey, this is a player to look out for the future," and might be the next BrokenBlade, you know?
I think there are players who are talented, of course. Um, I think the major difference between Turkey and other major leagues are the professionality, how
Mm-hmm.
they see things, how they practice. Um, like for example, every team in a major league, almost every team, has like people who look for the players, people who actually exercise with the players if they're really healthy. And in Turkey, not every team has it, and that is like something that's really bad in my opinion. Because if you're doing something professional and at a really high level, then you also need to be 100% that good mental health first, and also physical health, and that is a huge difference.
Right. Yeah, we've seen a lot of like sports psychologists and even cooks being added to gaming
Yeah,
houses, especially in the EU LCS.
yeah. Also, the right food is really important. If you eat wrong and you feel like tired or weak the other day, then it might affect your play. So
So no fast food for you, even though you go to NA.
we'll see. Maybe in off season.
Okay. I mean, the occasional cheeseburger isn't too bad, but you know, eating it every day
Yeah,
might be a bit too much. Yeah, I mean, like Dr. Pepper being a huge brand ambassador for TSM maybe isn't the perfect brand in that regard, but again, you know, as long as everything is in doses, it's fine. It's just when it becomes
yeah,
excessive, it's a problem. So you also mentioned that you, or at least at one point, you had the intention of becoming an EU resident again and like playing in EU LCS and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Now, obviously, you made it over to the pond and are now making the big bucks over in NA kind of thing. But is it so? Why did you ultimately decide to go to NA even before you like played in EU LCS and stuff?
All right, this is a good question. I had people like teams interested in me,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like after I saw what my options were and I actually got the official offers, I just saw TSM being the best roster, having the best roster that I could choose it from.
Mhm.
And like when I was thinking about the future as well, where do I like can I see me in 2 years or in 3 years in this team? And I could say that the most from TSM. Like I had also other good offers with the decent rosters, but I just thought TSM's roster was the best, and yeah.
I mean, it's pretty hard to have a better roster on paper than a roster that consists of Sven and
Yeah.
Sven and Bjergsen, of course, and then
Yeah.
Smoothie was added to the mix, of course, and we're all very excited for the inevitable NA jungler now that might be confirmed very soon, or maybe not, but we'll see about that one. But it's pretty hard to top any roster that has Bjergsen and Sven for starters.
Yeah.
Is there anything like you want to learn, especially because like when I talk with players, they always highly praise Bjergsen in the regard that that Bjergsen really trains you or makes you more professional and really puts in the proper schedule and makes you the better player. Is that something you want to achieve from going with TSM?
Yeah, obviously, I think it's really important to learn from each other, not only from the coach.
Mm,
Learning from the coach is also important. He also teaches you how to behave, etc. But playing with veterans or like players who are already really long in the scene and at a really high level, you can learn so much from them just by how they behave or how they react to things or how they go with like different situations, right?
yeah.
And it's not only Bjergsen, it's also Sven and Smoothie. Like they played already at the top level, and I'm looking to learn a lot from them.
Okay, fair enough. Uh, when you okay, so why though make the step? Like obviously TSM is a very huge team, a very huge brand. So were you ever considering, hey, what if this goes wrong and I'm like kind of burned for a long time kind of thing? Because like it's happened to previous players.
Yeah, I had this thought in my head, but as I said, like once I had every option and once I waited like the longest to accept the final offer,
Mm,
I thought about it really well, and I just thought, yeah, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do, and I want to show everyone that I am good. Like no one or like the least people know me from NA. I would say people from EU know me because I play in EU server and I'm
yeah.
always like in the challenger ladder, etc. But I still need to prove myself, and that's what I want to do. And I think I can make it. Yeah.
Isn't it though like well, a lot of people go the academy route, for example. So like go to the academy team of like Fnatic, for example. That's exactly what happened to Broxa, and then eventually got to the main team. Buipo got started as a sub and then got subbed in. Was that never really like an option for you? Did you always want to go? Okay, no, I want to start and then prove myself through that way.
Uh, I was also a consideration of me of
Mm-hmm.
mine. I thought about it as well, but I think even in such a big team, like what I want to say is, of course, everyone needs to get used to everything. Like also in a big stage. I was in Turkey. I was playing in an office. There
Mm.
wasn't the people who are actually on the stage watching you play, but I played on stage at finals. I played 2 times finals, and it's all. Uh, I think it's all just about pressure, really, and how you handle the pressure. And I think I can handle pressure really easily.
I mean, a lot of people agree on that notion. I spoke briefly with, I believe now, your former coach, Bloomingen, and he said that he was like super hyped about you getting the offer and getting into the league and all that kind of stuff. So lots of praise coming from that end.
Yeah, Bloomingen taught me a lot about how to play the game. Like he was one of the key persons for me being this good, or not this good, for me being at the level I am right now.
Was it difficult for you when the team, well, second place is of course a very special or difficult place, because like when I talk with very competitive players, they're like, no, it's trash, I feel horrible, etc. But a lot of people also feel like, hey, this is a great achievement. What was like your take on the second place finish?
I feel like the first split we played in Royal Bandits, the second place was just deserved. Like Supermassive was just better as a team, but the second split we finished the season with like 6 games difference.
Yeah.
And I know we were better, but we just couldn't perform on stage. Like people were just underperforming. 2 people were sick. We had technical issues that tilted the players kinda, and it was just an unlucky day. Like sometimes you just wake up, you have a bad day, and we had one of these days.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I think you were there for the SOA stream when he mentioned that, like on the day of Worlds Finals, he felt like, yeah, we're gonna lose this match, just because he felt like it was in the air kind of thing. And then yeah, they went on to lose because it was that kind of day at the end of the day.
Yeah, sometimes you just have those days.
Happens. Unlucky, you say. So like, talk me a bit more about how the team, or the fans of the team of TSM have accepted you, and like what the reaction was, because like I just tuned into the last minutes of your stream, and you were like streaming to freaking 7.5 thousand people, which is more than even Broxa or like the high tier EU people get. So that was pretty insane.
Yeah, but I mainly have a lot of viewers because of the Turkish community. Like without me being announced, I already had like a lot of viewers, like 2 to 3K. I still have a lot of Turkish viewers, even though I speak in English.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there are people who obviously support and really looking forward to see me play. But there are also people who, which is completely normal, and I understand, who didn't like the change because they don't know. Like it's obviously a risk of getting a rookie, than having a player that already played 3 years and 3 years plus, and he did perform well before.
Yeah.
So there's always a risk, and I understand completely. But I also appreciate the fans that say that are behind me and support me.
It's funny, I remember when Adam Turan, the Turkish football player, joined Barcelona. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you would have the subreddit, all the Barcelona threads, and like live chat would be spammed and flooded by Turkish football fans. Obviously, heavily praising the fact that Adam Turan made it to one of the biggest teams in the world in that case. So I feel like we're having the esports version happening kind of right now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like this, yeah.
TSM should prepare. At least they maybe should like look in the future.
Yeah, but it's also like, for me, being the only Turkish player being imported to a major region right now, also means that a lot of Turkish fans will also support the team I'm in, because I am the only Turkish player outside of TCL.
Yeah,
But it's also really, really great, I think, to get
it's a
a
good.
bigger fan base. Yeah.
It's good for their brand for sure. I mean, it's tapping into a new space. I mean, we'll see whether the competitive result will also be on the same level. Of course, best of luck in that regard. Are there any players you really look forward playing against in NA?
Yeah, I want to play against everyone, but I want to play against the top of the. I mean, everyone wants to prove himself, right? I think there's really no one who doesn't want to prove himself. So if I say, yeah, I want to prove myself and play against the best, that's like normal. I've already played against Impact when he was in EU for like event. I'm not sure which event. It was worse, maybe.
Maybe Rift Travels 2017.
Yeah, it could be also that. And yeah, and against the rest of the top laners, I didn't play it, and I still need to see if they play like any different from the EU top laners. But I'm really looking forward to like learn how they play and how they how their styles are, just in general.
I mean, Someday is a really really hot top laner at this point that is really highly rated. So that will be a fun matchup, hey?
Yeah.
What do you like? What are your hopes and dreams for the meta by the time you land in NA and like play your first games on stage?
Obviously, I'm most confident on carries, but I don't mind the meta because I can play both styles, like on a really good level. But I prefer carries. But I'm like, if you're professional and if you understand how a team works, then you have to be able to play both, and you have to understand when it's better to play both, like either carries or tanks. And obviously, I hope I get to play carry because I'm just really good at playing carries. But if it's needed to play a tank, then I will play a tank, and I will also perform.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it would be a bit bad, to go into TSM and say, "Oh yeah, by the way, guys, just carries only. If you don't pick me a carry, I'll run it down." By the way, no, I'm pretty sure, of course, that they did their scouting and showed that you are able to play or go on tank duty as well. But of course, pretty much every top laner I talk to is like, "Please no Maokai, please no Sion, please, please."
Yeah, I mean it's boring, but you have to do it. It's just a team game.
Someone in chat asks, "Hey, BrokenBlade, do you think you can beat the NA Overlord Hashinshin?"
I mean, I've seen a lot, but we will see. Need to play the NA solo queue first. I heard it's worse than in EU, so we'll see.
I mean, I think he's like, isn't he like Diamond 2 or Diamond 1 Heartstock? So I'm pretty sure that a EUW US Challenger level player should be able to smash a Diamond 2 Hashinshin or something like that.
We will see.
We'll see. Okay, no big WWE announcements on that note. Is there like, are there any particular players you will miss?
I mean, there are for sure players that I will not miss. That I can say for sure. There are some players who I really dislike playing with in EU from solo queue. Just the way they, sorry, just the way they react, or like their attitude is. I'm not sure how it is in NA. I've seen also like toxic people, but I can't judge yet, at least.
Do you have like your own internal or like internal list of people that you better dodge a game or something like that?
Yeah, sometimes I have people who come into the lobby and then I just already don't want to play because I know what's gonna happen. Like when I
Right.
see him already arguing, I don't want to play. Like in the champ select. And then it just affects, like it can affect me depending on my mood. If a player that I don't like talks really negative and also flames me, like if the players don't flame me, I mostly don't have a problem and I just play my game. And if they flame me for no reason, especially, then I'm getting then I can get negative.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. Like getting flamed for no reason is the worst feeling. Or like
Yeah.
when they make up reasons, it's like, oh, remember that one time at 8:35 where you didn't give me that 1 minion? Yeah, this is why you're trash, dude.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm gonna ask some questions in chat. So if you have some questions, of course, make sure to ask them there. Are you guys gonna boot camp anywhere before Spring Split starts?
I'm not sure. I think we won't because I
Yeah.
also have the All-Star event.
Ah, true. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be hype in Vegas. So someone asks how TSM discovered you and what the process you went through to prove yourself. I mean, you placed twice in TCL in a row and did pretty damn well there. But like other than that, how did TSM like discover you? I guess.
I mean, you would have to ask TSM for that. I'm not sure. I think. Wait.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
We can take a little break if you like need a glass of water and something like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of sick, but it should be fine for now.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
I think I'm not sure how they discovered me, but I guess some people had to have their eyes on me and see me play, or especially for starting position. You just don't take a random guy and say, okay, this is the guy, right? So I guess they have to have kind of a project behind it.
Right. Yeah, TSM have scouts, by the way. Scouts are a thing in esports. I don't know whether like people have realized that yet, but there are quite a few scouts in esports, and they actually do a decent job. Lots of bait towards you leaking the jungler. We're gonna ignore that. We're gonna skip that. What do you think? What do you personally think of Bjergsen then?
I think he's he's basically the franchise player of TSM, right? And he's playing for years in TSM, and I think he's a really great player. And also, I think his work ethic, like I can't say for sure, but I think his work ethic is like also really great. And from the like the videos TSM is making and all that stuff from like kind of content, he knows how to react on the camera. Yeah, it's also important for I think it's really important actually for professional players, because you're always on the camera, and if you don't know how to act where cameras are, then you also get like a worse fan base, let's say.
Yeah, he's always like super professional and never drops like f bombs or you
Yeah.
know ints other people by saying they're trash or something like that. Ooh boy, someone asked what is the best region, EU or NA?
I mean, I think I'm just gonna speak about the top lane, okay?
Okay,
Because
sure.
yeah, because I think generally EU has like really great top laners at the top level, like Alfari, Wonder, Soyas, Repo. They're all really good. But when it comes to like how can I say, like lower tier top laners, I think
Mhm.
NA is better. I'm not 100% sure how the top level of NA is compared to EU. Like
Mhm.
Alfari, let's say if you would match Alfari or Wonder against like Someday Impact, I'm not sure how I could compare that, because I haven't played against them for a while. But I think the mid tier, lower tier top laners, or rather the mid tier top laners, I think they're better than the ones in EU. At least in my opinion.
Interesting, because like I think I would have agreed like last year, but I also feel like over the last year we've seen so many EU top liners really prove themselves. Because like you listed quite a few, but there's also Odoamne and
Yeah, of course.
Vizicachi
I'm not saying
and
Odo and
Kabusha.
yeah, Kabusha, they're actually really great players, but especially like Cabo, also really good mechanically.
Yeah.
But I just okay. Let's say the lower tier at least. I
Okay.
think they're.
Fair.
I think in general, I still like. I also like more the NA option, because I don't know how they play, right? Like the NA top laners, and I want to see how good they are as well. And I think playing against Someday Impact, Flame as well is like, it's gonna be a huge challenge for me. Of course, I think would be the same in EU, like Afari and stuff like that. They're really good, but I'm really looking to prove myself there as well. Like, I want to know how good they are, and I want to know where I am
That's a
at
very good
like
mentality, yeah.
what kind of level.
I agree. Very exciting. Now, a lot of people in chat asked about where do you rate Abedaga, and would you hypothetically speaking, be hyped if you were to hypothetically join an LEC team?
uh, I think he definitely has potential. Actually, it's a fun fact. I've started my career with Abedage,
Sure.
and like the only issue he had, to be honest, like I think he's really easy to work with. He's a really good friend. He's willing to learn, etc. Just one thing I really don't like is about him not being vocal, or like his voice is not the strongest. Like how can I say, let me give you an example, right?
Mhm.
If someone makes a bad call, but with a good vocal, like you say like strong, okay, we were gonna do this now, or if you do a good call and you just can't say it like it's correct, you know. But if you say something bad and make it sound correct, you will rather listen to the first one than the second one, right? And that is what
Mm-hmm.
he has. Like, if he learns how to be more vocal and have a stronger voice, then he can be really good. Because I think his mechanics, and he's also really young, he can be really good, yeah, with good work ethic and a good coach.
Okay. So yeah, he just needs to I don't want to say anything rude or anything, but like get more vocal. I think is the right
Yeah,
way to say it for
exactly.
sure. How did you first feel? Ask Riley. Oh my! How did you first feel when the offer came through, and who did you tell first?
I mean, I have my brother, and he's always there, and I can always talk to him about like regarding offers, anything someone types to me. He's always there and helps me doing the best, giving me the best decision. Uh, yeah, I'm telling my brother always everything what when it comes to esports. He always helps me with it, yeah. And
That's
then
great.
the rest, like my friends and
Yeah, the natural order kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a pro player idol?
Uh, I had I had idols, but now they became my rivals.
Oh, okay. So which ones are they?
I mean, I looked up a lot to Alfari back when I was like when he joined Misfits, right? He went from straight Challenger Series to one of the best top laners, and this is what I want to do as well. I want to like people right now don't know me, and
Right.
I want also be really good, really fast. And I think this is not all, like it just doesn't depend on me alone. It also depends on the people I am around, on the coaching stuff, on the work ethic, uh, on the attitude, mentality, everything. Like it just has to be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a good mindset to have, of course. I mean, uh, at the same time, of course, a lot of people, a lot of players are um, working with that kind of attitude because I do think that this kind of attitude differentiates from like just you being a random solo queue player to actually potentially being a fantastic pro player and stuff. Um, did you have to play tryouts across servers?
No.
Okay, so like, did you have to play any tryouts?
No.
No, did they just okay? Here's the offer for a starting position. Damn,
Yeah.
that's pretty insane. Holy moly. Okay, so a lot of praise coming in for you as well. So you seem to have a fantastic attitude, very sensible. No wonder TSM went for you. So lots of praise. Will you miss currywurst and kebab and tuna?
I will probably, yeah. I missed it already in Turkey because it was, I mean, the Döner in Germany is different than the one in Turkey, and I
Yeah.
missed the one in Germany when I was in
Ooh.
Turkey. So yeah, I'm probably gonna miss it.
I mean, like they have kebab places in America, but it's just not the same.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's just not the original.
yeah, it's not OG. What do you think, or what team do you think is going to be the greatest competition next split? I want one name, not two names, because I think everyone's going to answer like TL and 100 Thieves. But which one would
Okay.
be your first pick?
If I had to choose, I think it would be 100 Thieves
Ah, see, I agree, but why?
because they have really great players. Like they have Someday, they have Bang. This is already enough, you know. Like literally, they're really experienced, and Bang played in SKT. He probably brings not only a good like he like only Bang is like already really good, but imagine him translating the stuff or the things he learned in SKT to 100 Thieves.
Mm.
Then the team can be really good, but it can also be like a really bad point where like they have two Koreans now, and I know Someday is already playing for a while in 100 Thieves, and his English might got better, but Bang's English could be a problem. I'm not sure how good his English is, but it could be a problem.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of always the question
Yeah.
mark in those regards. I mean, they had Rio in the mid lane before, and I knew that like from knowing Rio from EU, English was bit difficult. So yeah, interested to see him now in like a, what is it, assistant coaching role. So yeah, very interested in that, how that's gonna work. Are you nervous about meeting and playing with Bjergsen?
Not really. I mean, he's my teammate. I shouldn't be nervous meeting him, right?
Right.
But I'm just looking forward to meet everyone, like Sven, Smoothie, Bjergsen. Yeah.
Very hyped that. Yeah, I love how you were like almost listing the fourth name and then were like, no, wait a minute. No, just kidding. Are you excited to play against Hanser in particular, given that
I mean,
the relationship?
I'm sure that people will want me to outperform him, obviously, especially the people who support Hanser. Like back then when he was in TSM. I'm not quite sure. Like as I said, I didn't play against any of the top laners, and I'm not sure how good they are. But I will do everything, of course, to like win or like outperform.
Okay,
Obviously,
everything
yeah.
necessary, as long as it's within the rules, of course. We're
Like
not gonna break some
what I
of
want to mention as well
Yeah.
is like I don't know how they play, but they also don't know how I play, and I'm pretty sure that my style is really different from their style because they're just also playing in a different region. I'm not speaking about the Koreans, just speaking about the NA top laners in particular. They probably have like, I think every server has like a different playstyle, or every league, let's say. And I think my playstyle is just also something that they don't know or like don't see that much. And this is like not only a disadvantage for me, but also for them. So who adapts the fastest will get the upper hand, at least in the first split, I think.
I mean, like it's not even necessarily about adaptation, because like if you obviously will bring some new things to the table, to the drawing board essentially, and if then these things work out and they are a new approach to the game, then NA teams might have, or like might be struggling against that, and that might be one of the secret weapons.
Yeah.
I love how you're like smiling at the question, but then it's like, okay. Are you excited about like Golden Guardians in particular? Because I feel like they'll be a lot better than last year, essentially.
Yeah, I think their last roster wasn't really great, right?
No, I
Remember
think they placed 10th twice in a row. So
Yeah,
that's
but this roster looks more promising at least. I mean, they have Huni, right?
no, Huni's on
Oh yeah,
Clutch.
Clutch, yeah.
They have
Guardians is
Hanser,
yeah,
Contracts,
Hunter,
Froggen,
yeah.
Deftly,
I think
Ollie.
yeah, I'm not sure about Froggen. Like people are also question marking the thing that he didn't play for a year, but I don't think it's that much of a problem, really. But we will see. They're definitely an experienced team, and yeah, if they play disciplined, I think when it comes to older players, it's more about discipline than about like being ambitious and stuff like that. Of course, ambition is always good, but when you already know everything, how to behave, how to act, how to do stuff, then I think just discipline.
Just discipline. Damn. Besides LCS/LEC top laners and Korean ones and Chinese ones, okay, that I'm ignoring as well. So besides anyone playing in a major region, are there any like top lane talents that you think should definitely be looked at by LEC teams or LCS teams looking for academy players and stuff?
For the future, yes, I think there are. Right now, I can only see one player on the top lane that could be a potential pickup, and I mean his in-game name is he's called Armut.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. He could be really good in 1 year, maybe, if he like keeps improving. Like he's on the team I was last year now. But we will see if he can go the same way. I hope so. I really do, because it's like I walked away already, right? And I want the rest of the talents, or not even talents, like any Turkish player, I want them to walk the same way. Because I think if I can do it, right? I mean, obviously everyone has like different mindset, different mentality, right? But
Yeah,
if I can do it, then everyone else can do it as well, theoretically.
in theory, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, since like you obviously praising Turkey as a region, and their players quite a lot for good reason, of course. But Turkey is right now at least still considered a minor region. Now the LMS, of course, did very poorly at Worlds. I think they went like 2-15 or something like that during group stage and stuff. And there were, at least in the community, talks about, hey, maybe the LMS should be downgraded to a minor region and a different region should be upgraded to a major region or something like that. Would that be fair to the Turkish region, in your opinion, to upgrade it, or would that still be too early?
I think it would be still too early. Like, I'm not sure actually now with the new franchising system. It's also in Turkey. We will have to see how things are now. There's also going to be a stage in the Turkish scene. Things are getting more and more professional. It might be a major region soon, but I'm not sure. It depends on how things are working out, I guess.
People are like I'm guessing Spanish people are spamming chat about Werlip and Joppa. What are your thoughts on those guys?
So Warlip was already playing LCS, right?
Yeah.
And Yoppa, I think the big difference between those two guys are that Yoppa is raw talent. He is young. I think Warlip is a bit older. I'm not sure how old now, but I think Yoppa is mechanically also really good, and Warlip is just more about how to play the lane. I think, yeah, that's the difference between those two guys. They're both good. I think they also have potential, both of them. But what makes them different from each other is that Yoppa is really good mechanically, and Warlip plays the lane just really smart.
Okay, fair enough. Pretty, yeah, fair assessment of those guys. A lot of people also asking you about your thoughts on Misfits on the new lineup.
I think
Interesting.
it's really great. I mean, obviously, you don't need me to say it's great. It's just on paper. On paper, it's already a really, really big roster now. It's all about the management and how the players synergize together. Like, there are sometimes players who are just not the right match, right? And sometimes, even with the best players, you can be the worst team. It all really depends on if you understand each other, uh, can learn. Like, let me give you an example. Like Misfits last split, like when they had this 9-0 run, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly it was just going down. Yeah,
Downhill. Yeah.
exactly.
When
And
you
if this,
L9 era L too much.
yeah, and if this happens again, like this shouldn't happen again, especially for a team like Misfits, because they've been already through this experience, and I'm pretty sure this won't happen again. But yeah, if this doesn't happen, then I think they will be great.
Fair. I mean, like, it's like it's always difficult when looking at super teams, because I mean, people thought the same way about TSM last year. Of course, hey, Sven and Mithy, best bot lane in the West, coming in. We already have Hanser. We have this great new jungler that quickly got benched and stuff. And Bjergsen, of course, freaking Bjergsen. Nobody gets to criticize Bjergsen, I think, properly. And then yeah, it just didn't work out, which I don't think necessarily was like on the players themselves. It was just a difficult situation to be in general. And yeah, there was like some synergy issues and that kind of stuff. Is that something that worries a player like you in particular, like being a rookie and that kind of stuff, like getting into a team and there might be issues that you can't control and then that might cause problems?
um,
Have you been in a situation like that before?
I mean, when I first was a rookie, then I didn't really have veteran players who like said or like showed me how to behave, how to handle things, how to work together, right? So I needed all to learn it by myself. And
Mm,
when I was in Royal Bandits, I had my first real veteran players, and I've learned a lot from them. Like I had Dumbledore and Holy Phoenix, who are really veteran.
yeah.
Also, two Koreans. It was crazy how good they were, and I learned a lot from them. I have to say. And after a while, I mean, most of the time the veterans had the upper hand of saying something. Uh, and it's probably going to be the same when I join TSM. But I think it's not always the right thing to do. I mean, obviously, like players like Bjergsen have more to say. It's just their franchise player, but I'm pretty sure he's in the state of the professionalism that he will also consider an opinion of a rookie.
Yeah.
At least it
I mean,
should be like that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that everyone would agree on that, because like it would be pretty weird if rookies don't get to say anything. And it's like, no, you just sit in your corner. You're on top lane tank duty now.
Yeah,
Deal with it, and that's it. That's. I mean, that might have happened in the past, but I think teams are catching up to the point that, hey, 5 brains usually do better than 4
yeah.
brains. At least 5 brains with a mouth rather than 5 brains with only 4 mouths. What are your thoughts on Whippo? We just did a really huge, amazing new project that will be uploaded on YouTube soon. Hashtag soon. TM soon. Yeah, what are your thoughts on him in particular?
Okay, so I played against Whippo before in TCL as well when he was a
Oh,
VP.
right. When TCL Whippo was a thing.
Yeah, and to be fair, he wasn't really showing good performances there.
Yeah.
Um, and then when he joined Fnatic, I think it was a huge factor that he got to play with SOS. I
Mm-hmm.
think any top laner could just dream of playing or learning from SOS because I mean I've played against SOS a lot, also in practice, and I think SOS is the guy that plays the lane the smartest.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a mechanically good player and learn from the smartest guy how to play the lane, then it can only be good, you know. So I
Yeah.
think it was a really good match.
I mean, would have had the same road as he did? Because I mean, he did still win the ULCS Rookie of the Year award, which was a new award
Yeah,
created for him, and the Esports Rookie of the Year award.
yeah. I think I think mechanically I'm also pretty good. It could happen. Maybe better, maybe worse. I can't tell because I just didn't go the way. Um, but it's like I'm really happy for Bwipo to be just in this situation. You know, like it's just really great to have such a player teaching you stuff. And also the flexibility of Bwipo, right? He also played bot lane when Regulus just couldn't adapt to the meta.
Yeah.
That was also a big factor. Yeah.
TSM loaded. Obviously, a fan asks whether we will get to see Riven in the LCS.
Uh, I mean, Riven is pretty good right now, and it's in
Oh,
a really
really?
good state. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
With the, we will see. It all depends on the team comp, on the way we practice, if it works in practice. I mean, I've practiced Riven also in Red Bandits, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to. It was always in my pocket, like the pocket pick, as you want to call it. Um, but I mean, I got to play it a few times, but yeah.
Was it the kind of situation where you get to play it once and then you end and then you never get to play it again?
No, I actually it went pretty well. Most of the times in TCL, I played Riven when it was like a troll game when things were decided anyway,
Yeah.
just for a show match. But there were also situations where, for example, against Vladimir, I picked Riven in TCL and it worked really well. And I also like had a really good impact in the game, etc. And if it just gives me an opportunity to pick my best champion or one of my really best champions, then
Hmm.
I will I will do it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, if the option is there, you will always
Yeah.
put it in, kind of stuff. I can also say, so we just did a huge Bippo interview, and he said that, for example, he considered you a good player, but he was hesitant to call you a fantastic or amazing player unless you would dumpster him in like solo queue or anything, because he said that like hasn't happened yet. And then so that was kind of like his mentality. So there are a lot of good players or like a few great players like you. But then to truly be amazing player in the view of a pro player already, you need to like completely crush him essentially and show him who's boss.
I mean,
So
if you
he's
completely
waiting for
crash
that.
him as a rookie, then I think there's something wrong, you know.
Yeah, that's fair for sure. Would that be an exciting matchup for you personally? I mean, Bwipo is kind of known for carry top laners as well.
I mean, I've played against Bwipo a lot in solo queue as well, and throughout the years, he obviously got like a huge improvement. And like anytime I play against like pro players from now the LEC, it's always more exciting, more pressure, more thinking. Yeah, it's just greater, more better experience to play against just good players.
What are your thoughts on the rumored lineups of Misfits versus the rumored lineup of G2, which is rumored? It's an allegation. I will not officially comment on it.
Okay, so regarding the rumors, I would say at G2 definitely has a shot, but it all comes like there's no doubt of the rumored reroll of Perks. I think he's really great mechanically, no doubt, but I'm not sure how good he knows the bot lane matchups, right? That's also a thing. And when to move, when to be where. I'm not sure how good he will be doing that. I think that's going to be a huge factor as well. And it's going to be interesting. I can't really say much, but I think Misfits has the upper hand still on paper.
What do you think of this assessment? I think that G2 has insanely high potential to both be amazing, but also to burn and crash kind of thing. Like it's a high risk, high reward kind of team.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's about how people can adapt, you know, to the current situation. There.
Yeah. Lots of questions. I mean, was TSM the best option for you? Big TSM fan and interested in the decision. Excited for you to crush it. I mean, yeah, you already answered that. That was by far the best
Yeah, I
option.
mean, just if it wouldn't be the best option, I wouldn't be here.
I mean, yeah, that would kind of make sense, you know. But yeah, you did get LEC offers, right?
Yes.
Very interesting. Which current player do you respect the most? I think we already answered that, but which retired player do you respect the most?
Oh, which retired player? That's hard. Actually, I have no idea. I can't tell.
Fair. Happens. What I'm personally interested in, so like, because when I talk with players and that kind of stuff, it's interesting to see very different paths towards pro. So I talked with Bwipo today, and he basically at age 17 decided to quit school, and his parents were fine with it, and he went to try to become a professional player and stuff. Now Gilius, on the other hand, had a much different kind of path to pro with his parents being largely against it and that kind of stuff. What was it like for you when you first decided, hey, I want to go pro, and you told your parents?
All right, so the first thing that happened, like, I was always fine in school because I was pretty lazy in school. I really hate doing stuff what I don't like, but I
Yeah,
love doing stuff what I like, and I can do it for like many hours, and I like League of Legends, right?
Mm.
And once I got that offer from TCL, I said, hey, I want to do it. This is what I like. This is what I love to do, and let me do it. And first, they were against it because they're sending their. I was 17 back then. They're yeah, I was 17, and then sending me to a country where I'm not living with my family anymore is like a huge new step for them also and for me. Uh, and they were like against it in the first place, but when I showed I really want to do it, and that is really, like I said, of course there's a risk about succeeding and not succeeding, but they were supporting me after I showed them that I really want to do gaming.
And of course, at this point, they should be super supportive,
Yeah,
right?
at this point there, yeah.
What was like their reaction when they first heard, "Hey, you got an offer from TSM of all teams"?
Yes. So I mean, my like mother and father, they don't know who's like TSM and Misfits, for example, or like it can be any big team, like it can be Fnatic. If they approach me, like just say if um they wouldn't know these teams, or uh what I want to say is my brother. I have two brothers, and they know they are also gaming, and they know kind of stuff. And when I said, hey, TSM is interested in me, they're like, we're really excited, and yeah, I was really excited as well, actually. Yeah, it was crazy.
So it was a hype situation. And so like when I talk with my parents, because obviously they don't know any teams as well either, but like I always try to make allegations of saying, okay, this is, think of Bayern Munich or think of
Yeah,
Borussia
yeah,
or something like that.
I made the same examples.
And then when you were like, by the way, Bayern Munich offered me a contract, was that like a lot more hype then?
Yeah, I said, like, I'm not really saying like they offer me a contract. She knows there's different leagues.
Right.
For example, my mother, and I said, hey, I want to always be in Europe, or like in a major league in general. I said there's like Europe or America, and I said, hey, I'm always in Turkey. I want to get better and stuff like that. And then I said, when I had like few interests, like offers from EU and NA, I said, hey, I can go to EU or I can go to NA. And then she were like, oh, really? What's gonna happen now? And then like the whole idea of what I do is like different then, because it's all more professional. I had to tell her like there's gonna be like sports psychologists as well and stuff like that. Yeah.
Apparently Bjergsen got a beard, and that's what a lot of people in chat are asking about, your opinion on Bjergsen's getting a beard. I didn't even know that. I need to check
I mean,
that out apparently.
I didn't see it yet, I guess, but I will see it maybe.
And you can give thoughts then. What are your thoughts on like the situation of Gilius, that he's not finding a team and stuff?
To be honest, I think Gilius is like a really open-minded person, and sometimes in esports that is just not always a good thing, because people, I mean, it's true. People just dislike other people that are honest, and Gilius is the kind of guy that is like, I respect Gilius, and he's also my friend, but he's really, really open-minded and says what he thinks, and I don't think this is something bad. This is what people should do. Be honest and stuff like that, and being honest might have costed him, like right now at least, a good team.
Which is super unfortunate, of course.
I'm not sure how other people think of Gilius, but I think Gilius is a good player and he deserves better.
Yeah, it would be super unfortunate if that like would truly be the case, of course. Because I mean, I remember LS when he first discovered Bupo kind of thing, and he was like, the only reason why this guy wouldn't find a team is because he calls out other people on their shit, and that's not very liked in esports teams and that kind of stuff. So I feel like Gillies is now in a similar situation, and that will be pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, there's always a way, of course, to talk about things, and that can be changed. But at the core, if you call out legitimate bullshit, then you shouldn't, suffer from it.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you hyped about getting a Gillette razor with your name on
it? Yeah, well, definitely. Like you see, so much I can make use of it, but
yeah, very nice. Wait, okay, you're very well spoken for your age. Lots of compliments there. Yeah, which top lane are you looking forward the most to playing? Pretty much cover that. Will you clap Licorice and Huni? Ooh.
actually, I'm really hyped to play against Licorice. Not sure how he's gonna play. I've seen a bit from what he did in Worlds, and Huni as well. I think Huni is like mechanically really good, really, really good, and I just want to see where I am, as I said earlier. And I don't know. I can't really tell how good players are yet. And I just need to play first, and I can't really tell as well after one game I played against them. It needs to be like 5 games, 10 games in solo queue, also in solo queue, also in on stage.
And in scrims.
Yeah, scrims as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just based on that, I can't really judge right now who I really want to play against. Like they're all obviously the top names, but maybe the names that are not so much praised are like surprising me of how good they are actually, how they actually are.
I think there was a really interesting question in chat that says, "Is there anything fans from major regions should know about TCL?" Because I think like right now you're of course kind of in this role of almost being an ambassador for the Turkish league and the Turkish scene. So is there like try to sell TSM fans or like people from watching from major regions why they should also watch TCL in the future if you can.
All right, so I'm just giving one example, which is a bad thing. Why? Just it's only in Turkish, right? So it makes just the viewing experience worse, and that I understand of other people why they don't want to watch it. If there would be an English commentary, then sure I would also watch it if I wouldn't be Turkish. But now that there's a franchising system, there's also going to be more professionalism, and like also there are also really good players, like also non-players like Zaino, Dumbledore. Also, they're also importing a lot of great players, which are good to watch, like Freeze, GBM, Snowflower. Those are really good players, and you can also just by importing players, you can see how's their career going, how are they fitting into this minor league. Yeah.
Like a good mix essentially of like both interesting veterans. I mean, like quite a few of them are now like free agents, so we don't know 100% whether they're gonna stay in the TCL. But it would be pretty nice to see GBM stay with Supermassive, of course, and yeah, stuff like that. Very interesting question for me, particular as well. But especially the people that will interview you after or during NALCS. What kind of type of interviewee do you want to be? Like a shit talker or a humble guy, a cocky guy, a confident guy, someone that praises other players? What's gonna be your role? What's gonna be your persona?
So, all right. So I'm just gonna give an example on how I was in Turkey. The first I build up relationships to the other players. Like I get friends, and the closer I get with him as a friend, the more I shit talk him. So yeah, I can also be humble, of course, if I actually think he performed really well, even though he's my friend, and I obviously do it for the entertainment as well, and just to trigger him, just because I think it's funny. Like I won't be doing a lot of shit talking because I'm a rookie, obviously, and as a rookie, shit talking is really really bad, especially if you do bad after that, then it can go like really bad. So I'll probably need to play a bit before I can shit talk, obviously, if I would want to shit talk.
Yeah, you need to actually like trash, let's say, 7 out of 10 top laners in lane, and then
it's really just for the banter.
Yeah, of course.
Not really because.
Yeah, it's like because we mentioned Gillies before already. Anyway, like Gillies obviously likes to trash talk, but what people also don't get is that Gillies is friends with like the vast majority of players there, and it's like fun
and I think it's really really funny when he is trash talking a player because they know themselves that it's not real, and it's just like, for example, in the in-house as well, right? He was like doing it all for the entertainment, and I think me as a viewer as well, it would be just really funny to watch.
What is your greatest weakness as a player right now that you want to improve on in 2019? And don't say I work too hard, because that's always the bullshit answer.
Yeah, I think my biggest weakness is that I get sometimes really excited in games, but but that can also be good, but can also be bad. When I get really excited, it's sometimes I tend to speak way too much, and then people need to calm me down. Like, okay, calm down, we got this, and then it's fine again. And when I'm excited, I get impatient, do stuff too quick, and stuff like that.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's something that a lot of younger players have. Like it depends on the personality as well. Like it's just
Yeah, of course.
either they are like either they go the Abadagger route and just are too silent kind of thing, or they go the BrokenBlade route and are too
Yeah.
ecstatic. Maybe that's like the two differences. What are your interests outside of League? Asks Crux Dralor.
That's actually a good question. Something personal. So I like watching NBA. I love basketball. I prefer basketball over football. Yeah, I just think it's way more because stuff is happening all the time. In football, sometimes the game is 0-0, but in basketball you have constantly scoring people and always action, and that's why I like basketball more. And besides of that, I don't really do much. Like watch series and stuff like that.
Watch Netflix and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so I always find that a super interesting question. What were like your favorite video games when you grew up as a child?
To be honest, I mean, League of Legends. I
Like,
grew up with. I started when I was 11. So
yeah, okay, but like, did you play video games when you were like 5 or 6?
yeah, I played before. I played on a console with my brother is like is 28, and he had he always bought the games, and I was always playing like FIFA, and yeah, and as I said, I don't like football that much. So when I started playing League, I only wanted to play League because I just found the game so good, and yeah,
It,
now I'm here.
is it, or like I wonder? So like NBA or basketball in general as a game, also, of course, also has. At least it feels like you have way more impact as one singular player, given the team size itself is a lot smaller than in football. Is that something that was a factor for you in League as well, or like why you like League so much?
Uh, no, I wasn't actually. I started to like NBA not when I was starting to like League of Legends or the other way around. It was just when I was like 14 to 15,
Mm-hmm.
I started to play basketball with friends, and then I started to like watch
NBA.
NBA. Yeah, and like
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, other way around.
like
Fair.
yeah, you're correct with the having having more impact, but that's just common sense, right? If you have less players, each player has more impact.
Yeah. And it makes it more fun if you're good, of course. And it makes it
Yeah,
less fun if you're bad, which is
yeah.
why I don't play those sports. So if you wouldn't be a pro player, did you have like a dream to be anything in particular later in life when you were like before you wanted to be a pro player?
Uh, yes, I had some thoughts about doing like I wanted to do school like my family
Mm-hmm.
wanted, and then maybe something with like chemistry. I liked chemistry a lot in school, so
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do something with that. But now, not anymore.
Right. I mean, you've probably gone with a better path for now. Yeah, whenever I hear about people being really good in chemistry, I always have to think about Breaking Bad immediately. So
Yeah.
maybe you save yourself a lot of trouble going for esports instead. What were like some of your favorite moments in your career so far?
One of my favorite moments. So my favorite moment was when I. One of my favorite moments was when I last played finals. My last final, it was 13K people, and the moment I went out to the stage, it's just a feeling that is like you can't describe.
Mm.
It's just amazing how so many other individuals are cheering for you, and also for the enemy. This also impacts you. you like see the fans, they're cheering for the other team, and you get like hyped up. You want to beat them. It's like incredible feeling. Like like I can't describe it. It's just great. And then I would say my other favorite moment was when my first game playing as a pro in Turkey. Would be my other most favorite moment, because I was literally shaking when I played the first game. So, but now
Both
it's like,
positively and negatively, or
I mean, it really affected my play.
okay.
So, and that's not good. But now I got like used to it, you know. But it was still an amazing moment because this was like the beginning of my career.
Right, and that was kind of the moment you knew you had made it to the
Yes.
big stage. It's a funny, so like fun story here. I never got super nervous during an interview before, except for one time, and that was in 2017 when I got to interview Bjergsen because he came over for referral. And like we sat down, and I never had this happen to me before or since then. And we sit down, and all of a sudden, because I was so nervous, my legs started just shaking, just like going up and down really, really fast, and it just wouldn't stop. And like, yeah, this is okay. Let's get on with the interview. So yeah, it was super fun. It was super nice, super professional. So yeah, not only positive things about Bjergsen from my end, of course. That's gonna happen to you as well. And I
Yeah.
expect you to be at least a bit excited. Otherwise, I feel ashamed about that. Do you have a favorite NBA team, by the way?
My favorite NBA
Or
team.
players?
Yeah, my favorite NBA player is Derrick Rose. And my favorite team was Bulls, but now I don't really have a favorite team.
Okay.
My favorite team was Bulls when Derrick Rose was playing.
Right. Okay. Like those names mean nothing to me, so I'm just like.
Yeah, okay. So, okay.
Do you have a favorite football team? Because I do know football. Or is
I
that just
mean,
like gone?
Galatasaray, I guess, from
Okay.
Turkish
Fair.
because of my family and etc.
I mean, what was a cool team when Podolski was playing and stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure how they're doing at this stage, but yeah. Um, outside of League of Legends itself, is there anything you're really looking forward to going to America and living the American dream?
Yeah, I like also like being Turkish, right? Doesn't mean that you are living the Turkish culture, right?
Yeah.
Especially when like a guy like me is living in Germany. Like of course we are doing like having Turkish food, etc. But living in Turkey was different than living here in Germany as a Turkish person. So I think it's great. It's great always experiencing new stuff, and I think I'm really grateful for being able to do that because I can just do what I love, and this is just something that is also important uh, to be able to not get homesick. For example, like a lot of Korean imports, they do get homesick because their culture is just so different from European culture, right? So,
Mm. Oh yeah,
but
American
I think
culture in that case.
like I'm really looking forward to see the culture, and just how stuff is like going on, like how the people are, etc.
Yeah, I think it's really beautiful in that sense how esports enables young people to
Yeah,
live in different countries or like move continents and that kind of stuff and just live the dream while making very good money for your age and that kind of stuff. So I think that's pretty great. Uh, uh, so since you are a talent and a rookie and that has been up and coming for quite a while now at this point, are you excited for national leagues getting at least more support than they did in the past,
yeah,
and
for sure.
therefore being more of an opportunity for players?
Yeah, I mean, improving the national leagues also improves the higher leagues because obviously people in the higher leagues don't want to lose their job, right?
In theory, at least you'd hope
Yeah,
so.
in
Yeah.
theory. Yeah, yeah. So there's always a competition, and competition is not always good, but in this case, it's really good because it just motivates you to, like, let's say I'm Faker, okay? I'm the
Yeah.
best, okay? And then there's a guy, and then there's rookie, and Rookie is like always going here, right? And Faker, he sees him going up more up and up.
Yeah.
But if you have this kind of mentality to not wanting to stay the best, then I think you don't deserve to be there, right? That is at least my philosophy of being a competitor. So when two players are competing for a spot, then initially the guy who's more talented will eventually get it most of the times, unless he's like really toxic or is really bad attitude. But what I want to say is it's really great because the younger players get more praise and stuff just to work out their talent.
Mhm.
And the veterans or the players who are already at the top are seeing it and getting more motivation to get even better, you know? So I think it's
Right.
really great.
Because they don't have a choice essentially. Like if they screw up or like if they don't keep on performing,
Yeah.
then they'll get replaced.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm excited in that aspect because like obviously there are a lot of rumors, allegations about rookies coming into the LEC that like we mentioned Abedaga as an alleged mid laner for LEC teams, and Larson is rumored across the board. Nemesis is getting rumored. Selfmade is getting rumored. All of these people have been playing in national leagues for quite a long time, and they finally get their big shot.
All right. So what I think about them is I think a lot of them are deserving the spot because just the way they've been working. Let me give you an example like Nemesis or Abedaga, like in particular. They're both really they improved a lot throughout. If you follow the scene, solo queue scene, national league scene, you can just see based on how they play that they actually play better. And for especially for me playing with Abe for such a long time, I can see the improvement, and he could also see the improvement from me, I guess, because we're playing in the same team. But yeah, I think there are players who deserve to be there, and there are also players. I'm not saying rookies, but I think there are also players who don't deserve to be there.
Right, fair. Makes sense. A name that has been also dropped quite a few times, partially because he absolutely wrecks EU solo queue consistently, is of course Magi Felix. And he also played in Turkish League last split, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't do well.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what are your thoughts on him?
I think he has a huge issue on the team, especially like he's been playing for a lot of teams. He was playing in Challenger Series for Red Bull Esports.
Right.
Yeah, and he wasn't doing well there. He was playing in Germany for ESG, and he wasn't also performing there when it mattered. I think he just has an issue that he needs to fix before he can be the guy he is right now in solo queue. He just needs to translate it to the competitive scene, because if a guy has 5 accounts in top 10, then this guy is good. You can tell me whatever you want. This guy is good.
Yeah.
But if you tell me that like he was 7th place in the TCL, right? And you just can't tell me like if you tell me okay this guy has 5 accounts in the top 10 and he's 7th place in TCL, I wouldn't believe that.
It doesn't
Right?
add up.
Yeah, it just doesn't. So he has to have an issue that he needs to fix. And I think if he can, I don't know what it is because I haven't played against with him, so I can't tell. Right? But I think he has an issue that he needs to fix, and if he fixes that, then he's gonna be great.
Yeah, the raw mechanical talent is there. He just needs to make it into pro play, translate into pro play. I mean, that's something you mentioned also earlier, how like mentality and that kind of stuff, that's the difference between a random solo queue player and an actual professional, right? Like, there are just so many factors that, besides raw skill, that factor in whether you're actually a good or made to be a professional player.
Yeah.
You smile at that question a lot, isn't it? Did I
Nah,
say?
I just like smiling. I just smile a lot. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna be immune for smiling for sure. A lot more players should do it more regularly. A lot of people are always very happy when kissing smiles and laughs, or Jizuka does, of course, as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a thing. Also, Crook Strello, who's been making tons of comments at this point, but this one is pretty nice. Being 18 years old myself, it's really cool seeing our generation beginning to go pro. What are your thoughts on this generation's up and coming players? What are your thoughts on the new players more or less growing up with League? Because I always feel like, so I don't know who watches or reads One Piece in here, but you know how like in One Piece you have this kind of worst generation thing where like it's the youngest one that change everything up, and I feel like it's happening in League as well. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that's normal. I think it's just like if everyone would be as good as the other one, then good or bad wouldn't matter. So there
Right.
has to be a good generation, and there has to be a bad generation, because there's no good without being bad. So yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's just, I think, like right now the generation, like there's gonna be a lot of rookies. I think in the LEC, how it looks like based on rumors.
You're
So I think
learning.
this, yeah, I think this generation is it can be great. It can be a generation that people will say, hey, on this year there were so many rookies and look at them now. You know, I think this is the generation where it can happen. Yeah, and obviously, as I said, there has to be bad to be good. Yeah.
I mean, I would say that of course there's always, or like time as a factor is always the thing, right? So like a player that was amazing 3 or 4 years ago can, after a while turn to be okay-ish after 3 or 4 years, and
Yeah,
then
of course.
Rangyuki comes in, who's just phenomenal, and then takes a spot, which happened in TSM. No, just kidding. But yeah, like I would say, first of all, thank you, of course, very much for your time. If there are any final questions in chat, then let me know. People are asking us to speak in German, please. Of course, that's an option, but I'm pretty sure that the majority of chat wouldn't understand those, so that will be a bit BM. Which area in Germany did you grow up in, by the way?
It's close to Düsseldorf.
Okay.
It's like
Also
15,
Köln.
20. Yeah, Cologne. It's a bit more. I mean, it's closer to Düsseldorf.
Okay. Ich wollte nur BM. So
Yeah.
like there's this huge meme between Düsseldorf and Cologne, so they hate each other, and so yeah, I tried to BM or bait one of the fans in there. That kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, you used to be a console gamer, and then played. I'm guessing like PlayStation 2 and stuff like that, or GameCube.
Yeah, and 3 as well.
Oh, PlayStation 3 as well. Okay, fair. Any like favorite games from that area? I think you already said like FIFA, right?
Yeah, but I hate it. I don't like it.
Okay, fair. Did you never like play Pokemon as a kid?
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, who didn't like it?
Yeah.
I still play it from time to time. Like install like
Oh, an emulator and stuff.
yeah. And then
Which game though? Like which generation?
no, I don't know how it's called in English. It's like,
Rubin? Saphir?
ich glaube Feuerrot war das. Ich bin mir aber nicht sicher.
Ah, okay, Fire Red or Leaf Green.
Yeah, Fire Red.
Very very good.
Didn't know
Very
the
good
names.
choice. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah. What do you think of other players within the org, but not on the team? So, for example, Leffen is the Smash player of TSM. Myth is the Fortnite streamer. Do you have like any thoughts, or like do you even watch other esports besides League?
Yeah, I used to watch like when PUBG and Fortnite when like first released, and I'm like interested, like, why
Yeah.
are people playing this? And I've also played it when I had free time, also Fortnite. I just wanted to see why people like it, right? I think also people who don't know League also want to see why is it hyped so much? Why is there people like brands like Schalke in it?
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting.
And what was your conclusion on why people like Fortnite? Was it the dances?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a game where everyone can play it, especially like you can play it on the phone, you can play it on the console, in League you can only play it on the PC. That is also a plus. The next plus is it's really like a lot of young people can play it, and also old people can play it because it's just so simple, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to, like, if an old player or old person who isn't really into gaming is gonna have a harder time getting into League than getting into like Fortnite or PUBG, because these games are just more simple to play.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think the age thing is pretty huge, because like at least in Europe, we kind of still care when a 12-year-old would play PUBG. Whereas like when I was in Korea for Worlds and I played in PC banks, you would literally just have freaking 8-year-olds log onto the PCs and just play PUBG, and
Yeah.
you know that's a bit interesting in that regard. Have you been to Korea before?
No, I was planning to go there to like Bootcamp, but
Yeah.
I just didn't have the time.
Yeah, just the unfortunate offer from TSM came in, and yeah, very very unlucky in that regard. But yeah, is that something you would look forward to?
Yeah, of course. I played the Vietnamese solo queue, and they all like Wukong a bunch. Like when I was in Rift Rivals.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't go to Vietnam to
I was like,
spam solo queue, but
right.
they like Wukong so much in mid lane. It's crazy. But like that's also a thing, right? In EU, you wouldn't see that, right?
Yeah.
You would never see a guy picking Wukong mid over and over. But
Unless it's caps basically.
yeah. I mean, Caps isn't even spamming it, right? There are people spamming this champion. Like they actually think it's like a top tier, S tier. Yeah, it's really weird, like how other servers just have different opinions on champions.
Yeah, and I
I think
think
it's really interesting.
isn't it the Vietnamese server that has just like way more aggressive junglers or something like that? Isn't that
I
the
have
thing?
no idea. But the junglers were actually really good in the
Okay.
server.
Yeah, so that's
They
I'm
were
pretty
really good.
sure. Pretty sure. In that regard. Okay, yeah, so I think we pretty much found out everything there was to find out at this point. Unless there's something I missed. Is there something special that you want to talk about or that you want to
Not
say?
really.
Any message to the TSM fans, of course, you know, the standard stuff.
I mean, the standard stuff, you know.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for the support. Thank you
Yeah.
to our sponsors, yada yada. Can you even list all the TSM sponsors already?
I think I have the most. Actually, they have some really some sponsors that I didn't see yet. I think it's more about American brands, but
Yeah.
I know the most.
Okay. Like the most important ones, like Dr. Pepper and
Yeah,
Gillette.
Dr. Pepper, Gillette, HTC,
Right.
Logitech, etc.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. It was a really enjoyable chat, of course. Make sure to follow him on Twitter and Twitch, of course. For BrokenBlade, it's on Twitch and also on Twitter.
TSM, TSM BrokenBlade on Twitter now.
TSM, right. Fair. Forgot about that
Yeah.
little name change. Yeah, of course, most of you probably already do, but if you don't, make sure to for BrokenBlade on Twitch. So, are you gonna play some Twitch games after this, or are you gonna head to bed?
I'm probably gonna watch my new teammate Bjergsen
Oh, poggers.
since he's streaming. So
Right. So make sure to go on Bjergsen's stream, of course, and yeah, lots of TSM fans sending love your way. I'm actually so happy that you got so much support. I honestly, I low
yeah,
key
I'm really
expected this
happy.
to be that.
I didn't, to be fair, because
Really?
it's just reasonable that people like of course people hype me, people watch my montages, um, but that's not it, you know. Like I don't get hyped because people see a montage. Like I can
Right.
look, for example, I can look any player and I can make a good looking montage, right? Like actually good mechanically player. Like
Fair.
let's say just giving an example of another talent like Yoppa or Blomsterfin. They're also really good mechanically, but I guess they see something in me that they think I'm like I don't say it's not wrong, right? But I really appreciate it. It's just because I'm coming from a minor region and they still support me this much. It just means a lot to me.
Lots of TSM love and TSM chants in chat. I'm pretty excited to hear those TSM chants IRL one day, and I hope, of course, that one day I'll get to see you play live.
Yeah.
For now, I'll of course stay near you, but maybe maybe we'll see each other at Rift Worlds or something like that. Maybe that could happen. Would be pretty hype for sure. Oh, actually is Rift Worlds 2019 in Berlin again? Yes, it is actually. So that should be fine.
But I think Rift Rivals is already decided, or isn't it?
What do you mean?
Like, wait, Rift.
Who goes?
Yeah, isn't it like?
No, it's top 3 of Spring Split.
Top. Ah, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so you can qualify.
All right.
If you make top 3, so you better do that, and then we'll see each other IRL. But yeah, thank you so much. Also, so many German supporters, both Turkish and German supporters. I think that's a pretty fun mix. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Thanks everyone for watching.